Hello friends, welcome or welcome back. I am Corinne and this is my channel where we like to talk about all things creative, cozy, and seasonal living. Today I am in my swimsuit. I am at my favorite lake and I am waiting for a friend of mine, and I thought I would bring you along on our little seasonal adventure. So here in Maine, we have been experiencing unseasonably warm temperatures for the last 2 days, which I know it's not as warm as some of you have it, but we are in the 80s and it feels like a shock of spring/summer. The trees and the leaves on the trees have finally opened up, and the blossoms in front of our house, the tree, I think it's an ornamental fruit tree of some kind, and it is full white and beautiful and brilliant. And so spring has finally sprung. And my friend Anna, who many of you know, but I will put her information in the description box below because she has some new creative projects beginning, and I think you should give her a follow. She is coming to meet me here, and we are going to do our first plunge of the year. And we decided a couple months ago that we wanted to start doing cold plunging, cold swimming, just swimming as much through the year as possible. We both love it. We both love being in the water and the feel of like cold water. I know there's all sorts of research, good and bad, especially for women, good and bad. But I think if you love it and if it brings you joy and some relief for any of the things, then it's worth exploring if you do it safely. So we are going to be exploring what it means to do all of that safely this year, but we wanted to start around this time of the year because while the water is still cold, it's not as cold as, say, a month ago. And so we're going to begin monthly meeting and jumping in some body of water. So I'm excited for that. And speaking of creative projects, I have another friend that I want to introduce you to. My friend Samantha Garner is an author and creative extraordinaire, and she recently started a new YouTube channel, or a YouTube channel. No, she had the YouTube channel for a while, but she's starting to do some different videos, like video essays, and it's beautiful. They're short little videos that talk about noticing, creativity, all the things we like to talk about here. So definitely hop over. I will link her channel below as well, but I wanted to share about those two of my creative friends. I have lots of creative friends and acquaintances and coaching clients that are doing just amazing things. And yeah, so I'd like to sprinkle those in a little bit more here and there so that you all have different people to check out and to keep your curiosity alive and your creative curiosity, because I think that's what it's all about. And creativity is so much more than making something, like something tangible. I think that's a huge part of it, but it's a way of looking at life, kind of like whimsy, which I was talking about in the last video. Like, it's a lens that you see the world through, and it's what you bring with you in terms of problem solving, curiosity, wonder, play. Again, things that align very much with whimsy. So I just wanted to share about that. It has been a great week for my spring bucket list. The kids and I had a spring craft night last night, and so I'll put a little bit of footage in here. It was so fun to just say, let's get a little intentional after dinner. We normally kind of plop down and look at our phones or read our books or watch a show. So it was nice that we were all at home and able to just put a little bit of intention into creating. And again, creative curiosity. Finn was working on charcoal drawings, Paige was doodling on her tablet, and I was diving into my junk journaling, which was so fun. I finally remembered that I had a couple of old magazines from last spring. So the timing was perfect, these gorgeous spring images, and I had a really lovely time jumping into that. So I checked that off the bucket list. When I get home, I'm going to write down on the bucket list first swim of the year, so that I can check that off. And then I'm counting walking through our front yard as walking through a blooming garden, because it's just so alive. And I was standing under the tree yesterday, I think, taking some footage, and it was just like humming with bees, like buzzing with bees, and this smell was so fragrant. I loved it. I love it so much. When we get past mud season into this like small window of time where everything is just bright green and the blossoms are vibrant colors, like the rhododendrons start to come out and the azaleas and the lilacs, there's like a couple week period where everything is in bloom and it's just life-giving. So it gets to us a little bit later than some of you, but it doesn't mean it's any less spectacular. And yeah, so life feels a little bit more manageable when it's colorful. And I think that's a lesson to be remembered when we think about whimsy and creativity. That can bring us, color, vibrancy, joy, all of the things. So I've got my swimsuit on already. I went and got changed. I had an appointment earlier today. So I came straight from that. I stopped at the grocery store to pick up some snacks, and I've been drinking this really lovely kombucha. I think it's from Vermont. Yeah, crafted in Vermont. Aqua VT. It's a blueberry blend, and it's delightful. I needed a little bit of caffeine, but I didn't make myself an extra cup of tea this morning. So I'm going to enjoy this, grab my stuff, find a spot for us, and wait for Anna to come.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and hummingbird wing.
I found us the perfect spot. It's a little more crowded than it has been the last few times because it feels actually like spring and summer. But we're here, and I'm just waiting for Anna. But before she comes, I just showed you some of the things that I brought. And I am sad / happy / resigned to tell you that I needed to go back to my Hobonichi for my planner. Nothing else was doing it, so I found a cheap 2026 Hobonichi that feels perfect and feels like home, and I started using it and loving it, and really, I think thanks to my friend Heather Mattern and her channel and her Patreon, I was seeing just different ways that I could use the Hobonichi, and yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it, and I think I'm sticking with it. And while it's a lot of planner, it's actually perfect for the season of life I'm in, because I am feeling kind of like I need more space to put down my thoughts, and I want to remember what I'm feeling and thinking about right now, because I feel like there's a transition happening with the kids finishing homeschool, with my work shifting, and I want to be able to look back and witness it. So no shame to anyone who needs to change their planner system midway through the year. It's a real thing, and I'm not mad about it. I will use my other ones that I've tried as probably bases for more junk journaling, because I'm really enjoying that and can see the possibilities with it. So I'm glad I tried all of the different things that I tried this year, but my creativity needs a hobonichi. My creativity, my creative brain, and my need for some organization. I think what it is there's enough space that I can play and feel organized at the same time. And I'm realizing that that's what I need to do. And Anna is here.
Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
The rest of the week went a little sideways as a spring cold made its way through half the house, and some of us were moving slowly. But I was hell-bent on my bucket list, and having something to focus on when I was feeling kind of crummy actually brought a lot of joy. First up, making spring cookies. These aren't exactly cookies, but mini lemon bundt cakes. I say they count. Plus, they doubled as a graduation celebration dessert. This is a tried and true recipe. I sub dairy-free butter, gluten-free flour, and coconut yogurt, and they've always turned out really well. They are a family favorite, and the link for the recipe is in the description. Paige, our high school graduate, was at work on this day, so I was able to make some sneaky desserts and even decorate a little bit. She wanted a small celebration, just us and her boyfriend, and we made it work. She is our second and last graduate of Cunningham Academy, and with her diploma comes the end of our homeschooling journey. It's bittersweet, as you can imagine. I am so proud of our family and how we, again, made it work. It wasn't perfect. It was often messy. There were arguments over schoolwork, but there was curiosity. There were snuggles. There was so much love. A homegrown education isn't for everyone, and I often doubted if it was for us. But it turns out that it was the perfect fit for our family. And my goodness, I am so proud of Paige and all that she has accomplished and who she is becoming. Our whimsical, funny, caring, and oh so smart daughter is headed out of state in the fall, and we are cheering her on. So, to go with the bundt cakes, I made a strawberry syrup. I saw Nancy Britwhistle do it on Instagram and wanted to give it a go. Super easy. When I chopped up strawberries earlier in the week, I put the tops into a container and covered them with sugar. No measurements. I chucked it all in the fridge and shook it at least once every day, and in a few days' time, all the sugar was dissolved. I strained it, and it's ready to go. Next up from the bucket list, get fresh herbs. For this, Lucas and I headed to Longfellow's. It's a bit of a drive, but we were up for an adventure, and Lucas hadn't been to this garden center before. We had so much fun looking at all the different herbs and flowers. It was fun for me to see what plants he's drawn to and to get a sense of what we might like to add to the garden. Since we moved in, we've taken a very slow approach to gardening, partly out of necessity, partly out of overwhelm, and partly out of inexperience. but we're starting to dream about what we'd like to do, particularly in our front area where we dream of making a little patio and putting some ground cover that doesn't need mowing. If you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Low maintenance, low cost, that's our criteria. Back at home, we planted some oregano, basil, tarragon, and rosemary. Darcy supervised, Lucas did the heavy lifting. This is the area we'd like to transform. We're picturing some sunshades, maybe some pavers, creeping thyme. Again, let me know if you have suggestions. Later that night came the last bucket list item I wanted to tackle: graduation. We had the best sushi takeout, and our celebration dessert came together beautifully. It was simple, sweet, and Paige very much appreciated how she was celebrated. We finished the night with a fire, a hot cup of tea for me, and a Mai Tai for Lucas. This is definitely going on the bucket list, so I can remember to put it on the next one. Hello friends, thank you for joining me for this kind of hodgepodge finish up the bucket list video. I wasn't really sure what direction it was going to take when I started, and this really wasn't the direction I had in mind, so I'm happy with what it is, and I'm glad that you're along for the ride. So today I am going to check off everything on the bucket list, make a couple additions for the things that we did that weren't on the list, but I would like to remember. It's always nice to add things that you've done. I think it's like adding things onto your to-do list that you've already done so you can check them off. I find satisfaction in that. So let's get to it. All right, so here is the bucket list. We can check off get fresh herbs. We can check off graduation. And we can check off bake spring cookies. And I think the last one that was on this list was spot a spring butterfly, and I'm fairly certain I did when I was out for a little mini walk the other day, so we'll just check that off. Now I'm going to add a wave sticker over here, and our little leaf checker offer for dip. First cold water dip. First swim. Now, I have been looking for some kind of a fire sticker, and I have not been able to find one. So I'm just going to doodle a little fire. You see, my doodling is not great. We're just going to do that, and some, let's see. This is the craziest fire I think I've ever seen, but you know what? We're just going to roll with it. First outdoor fire. And we'll put another little leaf to check that off. And now our spring bucket list is completed. I loved having it on a clip and putting it on my bulletin board. I think having it visible really helped me to focus on it and to spend time on it. So I'm going to stick it in my whimsy journal, and like I shared in another video, I think I saved a page for it. There we go. Spring bucket list. All right, I'm gonna grab some glue. Yeah, I'm gonna grab some craft glue and glue this sucker in. I think there's probably way better ways to do this, but this is how we're rolling today. Stick this in. Oh, there we go. All right, so we did a completed spring bucket list for 2026. I think this is such a fun activity. It really did bring joy to my spring. And I think that's what I want to remember from this, is just the idea that we're allowed to have joy in our lives, even if we're going through tough times. I think especially if we're going through tough times. You know, I haven't had the best season with my body. It's not feeling great. All of the gardening yesterday was wonderful, but man, I am feeling it today. You know, so I've been experiencing a lot of pain. There's been frustration in personal life and things, and the ups and downs of graduation, the bittersweet stuff. Like, there's joy in it all. I think we just have to hone in on it and focus in on it, and maybe give ourselves opportunity to look for the joy and to be a participant in our lives in a joyous way. So that's that. Thank you again for joining me in this video and all of the ones leading up to this, enjoying spring bucket list making and whimsy journal and everything like that. I do want to let you know that as we wrap up spring and get into summer, I have a right into summer journaling workshop coming up on the eve of summer. So I wanted to put this one just as we're coming into summer to really honor what has been in this spring season, to welcome in what's coming into the summer, and to tap in and connect with ourselves, to feel and to see what it is that we need to support ourselves, what we need moving forward in our creative lives and otherwise. I feel like it all ends up linking together, this creative existence and creative life. But I wanted to mention it now because if you sign up for my newsletter, which I send once a month, generally just once a month, the one that is coming the first week of June will have a discount code for that workshop. So if you're interested in the workshop, you definitely want to get onto the newsletter list, and that will be in the description below as well. All right, friends, I am going to spend the rest of this day resting, being cozy, maybe reading a book, drinking a lot more tea and water. So until next time, be well, friends, stay cozy, and I will see you very soon.